Hello! So it's time to add some cardio. Next week, we're going to be adding a cardio habit to this challenge. Hopefully, hydration and nutrition have been going good for you. I created another video just explaining some of the benefits of cardio and giving you some ideas on what your cardio habit will look like. Remember, make these habits your own by creating a habit that is a little challenging for you, but something that you can maintain and stick with for the duration of this challenge, and hopefully even after. I hope you enjoy the video. So the hardest part in developing a cardio habit is often just getting started. I like to refer to Newton's first law of motion here. This law of motion states that an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless an external force acts upon it, and an object at rest will remain at rest unless an unbalanced force acts upon it. So if you are that object at rest, I'm hoping to be that unbalanced force that will get you moving and help you develop this cardio habit. Think of movement and cardio exercise as the wheels to your vehicle. So what happens to your tires when your vehicle sits for a long period of time? And what happens if you don't rotate and replace your tires? In either scenario, your tires are probably either going to become flat or wear out and no longer function properly. Your cardio exercise is your way of caring for those tires. Your cardio habit may look much different than someone else's. What type of tires or cardio do you need? So this goes back to that Honda and Mercedes reference that I have referred to in other videos. If you are a Honda, you'll need to make sure you are following the basic movement guidelines, about 10,000 steps per day or 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. However, if you are that Mercedes, meaning you are pushing your body to a whole different level, you're going to need better tires and more tread. You'll want to increase your cardio exercise and work on improving your VO2 max. So what exactly is cardio exercise? Cardiovascular or cardio exercise is defined as physical exercise that increases the rate at which your heart works. You can think of cardio exercise as strength training for your heart. Your heart is a muscle, the most important muscle in your body. So think of cardio exercise as a strength training routine for your heart. Lifting heavy weights challenges your skeletal muscles to become stronger, and cardio exercise, getting your heart pumping, challenges your heart muscles to become stronger. Here are some of the many benefits of cardio exercise. First, as I mentioned before, it strengthens and improves the condition of your heart. Second, it increases your metabolism and the number of calories that are burned. It boosts hormone production, which can improve your mood, reduce stress, decrease depression, give you more energy, and help with hormonal imbalances. It helps with the quality of your sleep. It helps prevent and manage high blood pressure and diabetes. It reduces muscle pain and arthritis pain by stimulating blood flow through movement. And it helps control your appetite. So how much cardio do you need? The physical activity guidelines issued by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends a minimum amount of at least 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity physical activity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity. You can also work towards getting 10,000 steps daily. So what zone are you in? How do you know if you're doing moderate intensity or vigorous intensity exercise? This is going to depend on a few different factors. First, let's look at our zone 1, which is our moderate intensity exercise. Here, you are going to have a 50 to 60% max heart rate. I'm going to explain what that is a little bit later. You're going to have a slight difficulty talking and breathing. Usually some light sweating starts to occur. And you're burning 25% carbs and 75% of fats. The biggest mistake I often see people make is that they're not even in their moderate intensity zone yet. They're on a low intensity, maybe just a leisurely stroll, and they never really get that heart rate up. So make sure if you're going to do moderate exercise, you are in that zone 1. We'll start to move into zone 2. So this is still moderate, but you're starting to move into that vigorous intensity. In zone 2, you're at a 60 to 80% max heart rate. Talking is difficult and your breathing is rapid. So you will be able to answer questions, but maybe in just 1 or 2 word answers. You are sweating and you can actually feel your heart pumping. Here you're burning 50% carbs and 50% fats. And then in our true vigorous intensity exercise phase, that's our zone 3, we are at 80 to 90% max heart rate. You really can't talk much at all, and breathing is difficult. You're very exhausted and you can only continue for short periods of time. Here you're burning 95% carbs and only 5% fats. Here is another tool I like to use when determining whether you're in moderate or vigorous intensity exercise. This is called our RPE chart, or our ratings of perceived exertion. Your moderate intensity exercise really kind of begins around 4 and goes to about 6. Your vigorous intensity exercise is your 7 to 10 on this scale. Here is a formula to determine what zone you are in and whether you're doing moderate or vigorous intensity exercise. This is for all you technical people. To figure out what zone we're in, first we're going to have to determine what our maximum heart rate is. So the formula for that is 208 minus 0.7 times your age. You're also going to need to know your resting heart rate. Your resting heart rate is usually best taken first thing in the morning. So it is your heart rate taken at rest. From there, you can figure out what your heart rate reserve is. That will be your max heart rate minus your resting heart rate. Once you have those numbers, you can go ahead and plug them in to figure out what your heart rate should be in each zone. So in zone 1, you're going to take your heart rate reserve times 50 to 60% and then add back in your resting heart rate. You'll do the same thing in zone 2, but timesing your heart rate reserve by 60 to 80%. And for zone 3, times it by 80 to 90%. You can use this formula and also keep track of your heart rate the old-fashioned way, or most wearable devices now will figure this all out for you. I highly recommend, if you don't have a wearable device and you really want to be technical, to go with a wearable device. The nice thing about this is that will actually take your heart rate in your sleep and take it over time, so you really determine what your resting heart rate is. Now let's explore the different types of cardio exercise. So we have a steady state cardio exercise, and this is a continuous form of aerobic activity in which you exert a steady state of energy for an extended period of time. This form of cardio exercise is great at building endurance. The benefits is will help you build up your aerobic fitness or endurance. It will help your muscles recover faster and tends to have less stress on your joints than other types of cardio exercise. You will burn calories and you mostly burn fat as a fuel source. And it's easy to start and easy to stick to. The limitations of this form is that it can be time consuming. You need to spend more time exercising in order to burn the same number of calories as you would in other forms of exercise. Your fitness and weight loss may plateau. You will not improve your strength or power in this form of cardio. And for many, it may be boring. Another form of cardio exercise is our cardio interval training. Interval training is built upon alternating short, high intensity bursts of speed with slower recovery phases throughout a single workout. Some of the benefits of cardio interval training is that it will help burn more calories in less time. It will increase your VO2 max, or how much oxygen your body can use during exercise. It has been shown to better improve heart health. It's less boring, and it doesn't require much equipment. The limitations are that it may be hard on the joints and your risk of injury increases. And it can leave you feeling exhausted and sometimes a little anxious. So what is VO2 max? Your VO2 max is considered the best indicator of cardiovascular endurance. Our VO2 max refers to the maximum amount of oxygen your body can absorb and use during exercise. It measures your aerobic fitness levels. So as you breathe in oxygen, your lungs absorb that oxygen and turn it into energy called ATP. ATP powers your cells and helps release the carbon dioxide that's created during your respiratory process when you exhale. Here is my favorite test for calculating your VO2 max, and it's called the Cooper 12-minute cardio test. And no, it's not named after my dog Cooper. So for this test, you'll want to start with a 5-minute warm-up, walking and moving all parts of your body. When you're ready to begin the test, you'll begin walking as fast as you can or begin jogging or running. You will continue for 12 minutes and record the distance you're able to go in the 12 minutes. Once you have that distance, you can plug it into a fairly simple formula. So if that distance was in miles, your VO2 max will be 35.97 times your distance minus 11.29. I like this test because it does work for all abilities. Whether you're running, walking, or jogging, this test will work to help determine your VO2 max. So say you start off with a run and halfway through you need to switch that down to walking. You can do that and still get accurate results in this test. On Monday, you're going to see the cardio assessment or Cooper test scheduled for you. It will be right there on your dashboard. You don't have to complete it on Monday, but I do recommend you try and complete it towards the beginning of the week. You're going to want to complete this test at least one more time during the challenge. You can complete it as often as you'd like to. You can find this test by clicking on the kettlebell at the bottom of your screen and choosing it from the list of workouts available. Are you curious on knowing how well you did compared to other people your age? Here is a chart for the norms for the 12-minute Cooper test. This chart is broken into age and gender. Don't worry about catching it all here. I will message you a copy of this chart. It's time to create an amazing cardio habit. So your habit really should be unique to you. It should be something that you find slightly challenging, but something you can stick to for the remainder of the challenge. Maybe your habit is just to increase your daily steps, getting closer to that 10,000 steps daily. You can link your wearable, your watch, smart devices to the app, and I will send out a message on how to link that up if you're interested. Then you can see the amount of steps right there, and I can see the amount of steps right there on the app. You also may want to do some steady state cardio. For example, maybe some running, jogging, cycling. Here, you're going to want to choose that X or plus sign in the blue circle at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that, it's going to bring up a list of things similar to where you're adding your meal. You're going to choose activity. Once you open that up, it gives you a list of different activities you can choose from. I'm also going to send a video on how to log activities on the app. And last, if you want some cardio workouts, these are more interval-based workouts. You can go to that little kettlebell at the bottom of the screen, click on that, and starting on Monday, you're going to see a few samples of cardio workouts that you can choose from. Whatever your habit is, make sure that it's something that is challenging to you, but something that you can maintain for the next, let's see, we still have 4 more weeks, next 4 weeks. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. So on Monday, you're going to begin some cardio activity. If you have any questions, you can always send me a message. You can message me on the app by clicking my little head at the bottom of the screen, or you can always send me an email. Good luck and have fun as we begin to do some cardio.